So welcome back, guys, to the second video. In the first video, um, we've created a Twitter bot that gets a quote from a file that we downloaded online. I will attach a link to this file. Um, it This is a file. It's right here. It has a bunch of very Yeah, so it has so many quotes, guys. It has about 75,000 quotes, right? Um, so what we are doing is getting a single quote from this file and getting a random quote from this file and checking if if it has less than 200 and less than or equal to 280 characters, because Twitter restricts every tweet to 280 characters, and then we are returning it. Then we are creating the function to create a tweet, and it's just this simple function that you see here, this simple method that creates a tweet. So yeah, so that is done. Now the next step is to create a like and retweet feature, because like I said in the first video, if you want to create engagement on Twitter, which is very important, because people are even earning living from creating this engagement. Some are influencers, some have been able to create awareness for their businesses, get a client or two online. And so yeah, it is very important that you create engagement on Twitter about your business, because Twitter has um, a very large following, a very large following of actually active people who are on there. And it is also a platform where you're going to meet the kind of clients that you would want to expose your business to. So it's important that you also engage with their clients, because when I see it is human behavior, when I see you interested in my stuff, it is it is very likely that I'll also pick interest in what you're saying. So I also start to look at your tweets just because you're also interacting with mine. So that is why it's important to like and retweet other people's tweets. So for that, to do that, we're going to create a function called like and retweet. All right. And so right off the bat, what we want to do is to run through the home timeline. So the timeline is something like this, right? So these are the different quotes. It's this. So this is your timeline, and so this is the content that people you like or people you follow tweet. So this is their content, all right? And so what we want to do is we want to run through, we want to iterate through each of these tweets, right? And so what we want to do is, if we find a tweet that is not if we find a tweet that we haven't tweeted ourselves, we like it, all right? So like this, you like it and you retweet it, and so this person gets to see that you've also retweeted their content, and maybe hopefully they can interact with yours as well. So to do that, we are going to say for tweet in tweetpy cursor. So we are using the cursor method to run through these tweets. So there's another approach you could have said for tweets in API home timeline, but this restricts you, because this will show you only the first page of tweets. Yeah, for example. So, and usually the first page has about maybe a dozen or two of tweets, right? But what you want to do is be able to iterate through more than one page. And so for you to be able to do that, you need to use the casa the casa class, right? You can see it's a class. You have to be able to use the casa class. And so the casa class takes in API home timeline. Of course, it can iterate through a lot of stuff. It can iterate through your followers. It can iterate through a certain follower or a certain hashtag or a certain anything. So it has a lot of it exposes you to a lot of stuff. But it also has another method called items, and so this determines how many items you want to iterate, how many tweets. So now we'll say we want to iterate through 100 tweets, right? Okay. So for that, one thing we want to do now is we want to like, but we want to make sure that the tweet we are liking, we haven't tweeted it ourselves, right? And we haven't already liked it. So we are saying if tweet user name is not us, right? So here you pass in your the Twitter username or the username of any person's timeline that you want to go through. Uh, Mine right here is Kweronda. So I'm saying if a tweet hasn't been created by the user who is Kweronda, and also I want to check sure and see that I've not already liked it. If not, tweet dot rated. So that is a function that checks if you've already liked the tweet. Then I'm saying if it's not created by me and I haven't already liked it, then I'm going to like it now. API dot and the function for liking is create favorite right here. Create favorite, right? And so it takes in an ID of that particular tweet. Okay, so that is tweet ID, right? So if you're wondering what this tweet object has or what it entails, because it has a lot of things, there's tweet.text, so that shows the text of a tweet. There's tweet.user.id, there's tweet, a lot of things, but I think I'd opened this tab here. Let me show you. So this is a tweet object. So for each tweet, it's a dictionary object. So for each tweet, it has a number of elements or a number of attributes, some being ID, created at, text, user, and this the user is these are even child attributes. These ones. So, for example, every tweet that you see, if this is a tweet, it has a lot of attributes, very, very many attributes, probably 50 or even more. It has the name, it has the username, it has things like is it verified, it has the text, it has the link, the URL, it has created art. All these are different attributes, and you can see some of them here. These are the parent attributes. And then you go in, then there is user, which has also a dictionary of other attributes, right? And so you can look at some of them here. Created at ID, text, and then you'll come to child attributes. For example, user has a dictionary of other child attributes that you can see here. And so there's so many things that you can get from a single tweet, right? Okay, so let's go back to to our tweet. So I've said that, but what I want to do is I want to put this in a try and except block so that just in case anything goes wrong, my app doesn't stop running. It just doesn't crash except try dot errors dot try exception as a, and just print this error so that anything goes wrong, we know what's happening, right? Okay, cool. But right here, what we want to do is just print and see what we are liking. Print liked. It's dot user ID. Just want to say the ID. Yeah, is this correct? Even let me just use this. Select. Tweet dot user. Tweet dot, no, that would be slow. User dot name. I just realized that this sometimes creates errors. I don't know. So let's just run through five tweets, and see what that looks like. So I'll just yeah, and run this and see what we get. Okay, so looks to be working fine. And if I run through our timeline here, we should probably see these tweets that I've just liked. Can't see any tweet I've liked. No, let me run it through 20. And while it runs, I want to refresh the home. Okay, I can't see them, but definitely I've liked them. So I'm not going to waste your time going through my timeline just to see what I've liked. It's not showing here because this could be the latest, or it's not running as fast as what the API is doing, which is why I can't see any of them. But this is what I'm going to do now. Okay, cool. So, but you can see I've liked this, right? If I go through this account for Chidia, I should see that I've probably liked one of his tweets, hopefully. Just doesn't show up on his timeline as well. Okay, that's fine. I have a way around this. Let me first create the retweet as well. Okay, so I'm going to use this same condition here. And so after this, I'm also going to use this. If I'm not the creator of this of a tweet, because I definitely don't intend uh, to retweet my own tweets. That would make sense. So I'll start here and say if not, um, tweets dot retweet. Just make sure I don't want to try to retweet a tweet that I've already retweeted. And so if you're wondering where I'm getting this, this is still here. These are all attributes of, you see. So if I say retweeted, it should be false, right? Because I haven't yet retweeted that tweet. So if not retweeted, and I also want to check that I have not. Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. So if not retweeted yet, I'll say API dot. Is that retweet? Yeah, and I'll pass the ID of the tweet that I want to retweet, right? Yeah, and then I'll just print this to make sure that I've retweeted it. Of course, the user will be the same, so I don't think I need to. Let me just, okay. Just wanted to just write retweeted. Let me write the whole thing. Here, retweeted. Okay. I also put this in a try and error. Try and accept so that it doesn't crash in case anything goes wrong. Accept tweetpy dot errors dot tweetpy exception as I want to see this error. Okay, so this should run fine. We are going to go through 20 tweets, retweet them, like them, and retweet them. Okay, so let's start. And the reason we should be able to see them on my timeline, because when you retweet a tweet, it is showed on your timeline. So as it runs, I should be able to see them. I'll just come here and refresh this. Yes. So now they're starting to show up. So I've retweeted this. You can just see I've retweeted and I've liked it. Same. I've retweeted and liked, retweeted and liked, retweeted and retweeted and liked, retweeted and like. But now I think the other thing I need to do is make sure that I don't retweet stuff like this, because this is not even in English, and I don't know this company. This is Colombia, so I definitely want to get rid of this. And I think one of the ways I could create an if script that goes through and checks if the location of a tweet is not maybe uh, my country, yeah, so that you're retweeting stuff in your own country, because sometimes it does not make sense for you to be retweeting stuff like this that you can't engage with, that they also can't really engage with you. So um, I'll have to create that. But I think the challenge also is that it limits you, because sometimes you want to retweet stuff about. Uh, I like music, so maybe I want to retweet stuff about music, and maybe the people who are creating these tweets are not from my country. So that kind of limits. I think there's a way to go through these topics, the recommended topics, because usually if I do this, if I go to my home timeline, um, these days Twitter just recommends stuff, even if you're not following. I guess it's a way of creating engagement. So you just see sometimes that they are recommending something, and um, can't seem to find that. But yeah, so you get the idea. If I'm to do that, I'll probably do it in another video. Um, but let me first try to check what locations I can get. I'm going to take this because I want to go through the timeline. Yes. So I want to print tweet dots, and what do I want? I want location. Let me see. Color. I look at the user object and see if we have anything like location. Okay, so location is here. Okay, so if we run through, we see that these are from Kampala, Uganda. Same thing. So most of the people that I'm following are from Kampala, Uganda, right? So and I could check that, but then uh, there are Nigerians and Kenyans and Rwandese, and so all these people, they make Twitter interesting. I would just want to restrict it to to these people. But let me do something. So let me remove this. I'll say if there is, I want to see what other locations getting. Then I'll say print this. Skip Uganda and see what other locations are coming in. Okay, so the same thing. So you see, these just have space. I don't know. Looks like most of the tweets on my home timeline are just from Uganda, so that's fine. So I won't enable this, the location feature. So this app should be fine, but right now it should be okay to run. To get our app running and keep it running, we'll just create a run function and say while true, so that it keeps running. We will run the tweet function, right? And we'll make it sleep for the run time function for these minutes or seconds. And then after that, we also run the like and retweet function. And it also rests for that time. Right. So yeah, so that's it. Then after here, let me just, because I'm just testing it, say one complete. One complete, just to see that the cycle is complete. Just put here this one running, and now let's see if name is equal to 9. And run the application, right? So that and see how that goes. So the first cycle is done. Okay, so everything seems to be fine. So yeah, so right here I would say this application is running. Let me just go to Twitter and see. So this is a quote I've just created. Um, oh well, because I'm not supposed to retweet my own tweets, so this is an error. I'm not supposed to like and retweet my own content. Um, so this is not working fine, but this is fine. This is not my, but I'm not supposed to like and so this, I need to fix this, but time has already gone. I'm just going to update it with another video, because you see they're saying I retweeted my